So Dougie McLaren here. We are family farm running under Forth Farming. Dad and my brother and my mum in the partnership. We're farming around about 1,300 acres-ish, about 800 or 900 which is arable. We then have about 600 breeding ewes, 80 cows, roughly suckler cows. We keep all of their offspring and finish it all on site as well. So before we just used contractors or hired in spreaders and used contractors to do the lime spreading. So we didn't actually own our own spreader before purchasing this one. It worked away okay. The worst one was getting the spreaders when you wanted them and having to travel a fair distance to get them sometimes as well. It's just handier having your own one on site really. And we were spending probably in the region of 5 and 10 grand a year on hire / contractors as well. So we just wanted to bring that in-house. And with weather windows getting smaller as well for getting on the ground at the right times, we just felt like having our own one would be better off. So this spreader can spread lime, fibre foss, pellets, compost, farmyard manure as well. So that's the main reason that we went for this one, because it can do everything that we want to spread. This spreader can spread it in one go. What led us to buy this machine with the weigh cells compared to an ordinary machine was the ability to do our own lime in-house as well, and hopefully pick up some contract work as well with it. Also just in general make everything more accurate on what we're already doing with regards to the pellets, even farmyard manure, to know exactly what's going on in each field. This spreader makes it easy to do that. You just type in the rate that you want and away we go, and so you know exactly what it's getting. So the teething issues that we've had with the spreader from new for about a year now that we've had it is the fibre foss. So it was not really anything to do with the spreader's fault. It's just such a low rate that we're applying it at. It just couldn't manage it with the width of the floor. The floor was going so slow, it wasn't an even feed. So we got a local fabricating company, Geyer Plant Services, to build a hopper that fits inside the current hopper on the spreader, and basically just to stop the material going on the full width of the floor, it just goes on a smaller area so that the floor is going faster to apply a more even feed basically to the discs to spread it.
So Dougie, can you run me through how it works, the spreader?
So this is the spreader. It's a 150 HPD, so starting at the front anyway. These are the weigh scales here. So there's a bar on each side basically, and then there's one under each axle basically at the back of the machine. They then travel up to this white box that you may be easier to see off the other side. That information goes up there, and then there's just one simple cable that goes up to the computer in the cab, which then tells us exactly how much is in it. You can also, you can get an app on your phone, so if you're sitting in the forklift or the digger or whatever loading it, you can get the app on your phone to see exactly how much you've got in each spreader so you don't overload it or anything like that. So yeah, we can put roughly, quite comfortably, 15, 18 tonne of dung in it if conditions allow, although that doesn't mean that you have to do it all the time. About the same with lime. Pellets we get about 8 tonne of in it, so it's big enough but not too big, hopefully it stays up.
Yeah, that's it. And can you show us maybe the back of it, the business end of the machine, what equipment it's got on it?
So we went for the HPD model because it's got the 2 horizontal beaters, one above the other. This door is obviously normally down, which then just allows the material to fall onto the discs here and then throw it out. So most materials we're getting around about 12 metre swath width. It will throw it further than that if you want, but we just run at 12 just to try and get the overlaps right and not strip anything. The horizontal beaters are great for chewing up the dung as well, and they make it into small pieces, and then it makes a beautiful job of spreading it evenly on the ground. We're trying min-till a wee bit as well, so it's good to get a good even spread for the min-till for the machines to work better and not have big lumps of straw or anything like that. So it does make a beautiful job of chewing the stuff up.
It certainly gives you the variety of different materials that can all go through the same machine.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the main reason that we went for this one, is that this one spreader can do every material that we want it to do without having to change anything really at all. It's basically, you just tell the computer what material you're spreading, it then works it all out for you basically, and you don't actually have to physically really change anything other than for fibre floss we have to put the wee hopper in. But other than that, it's straightforward.
And can you show us just quickly how the computer system works, how the screen works in the cab?
So when we spec'd this spreader, it was a little bit extra to get a bigger screen, but at the time we thought it was well worthwhile to get the slightly bigger screen, especially if we're doing the variable rate line, because you can see the grids, different grids as you drive into them. So this is it really. It's very straightforward to use. You just store all your whatever you're spreading in there, and there's preset kind of settings-ish for it, and then as it spreads it works out how much it's putting out at a turn of the chain, so it knows how fast to make the chain work. So as we are spreading, we don't actually have to change anything, it just works all out for us and adjusts the floor speed to suit. If we're going too fast, then it just tells you to slow down, and so that it can apply the correct rate.
So when it comes to a customer coming to you wanting to spread variable rate lime, how do you get the variable rate map information onto the screen and into the spreader?
So the customer basically gets the map, they get whoever's mapped their fields or sampled their fields to create the map. Then it's just simply they email it through to us. We put it on a USB stick, plug it into the back here, and then we just swipe across. As we can see here on the map here, this is actually for a field just in front of us here, our own one here. The different colours on the screen are different rates. So as we drive between the squares, the machine automatically just, it's basically oil flow, so it just shuts the oil flow down to the floor or speeds it up and regulates how fast the floor is going, and then that adjusts the rate at which it applies it as it goes between the squares. And it knows where it is with its own wee GPS receiver on the roof to know exactly where it is in the field. So the way, when we purchased this machine, like you said, about a year ago just now, the way it was a little bit more money. It was about 10 grand extra for the weigh sales on this machine. Although you offset that against current fertiliser prices, we hopefully don't have to save a lot of fertiliser, and it's justified the weigh scale side of it. So the benefits this spreader has brought the business so far is the ability to do it all ourselves really, and when we want to do it. We're also, now that we know exactly how much dung and farm manure and everything that we're putting on, we're hoping to be able to reduce our P&K levels in the fields that we apply it to as well. Hopefully reducing fertiliser costs in the future and using less artificial fertiliser. Buying this spreader has changed our attitude to precision. We are just kind of getting started on the precision side of things, but it definitely has changed our attitude to it, shown us that we're needing to be far more accurate with what's going on where. Hopefully going forward we can, make up yield maps and things like that and go down variable rate P&K maybe in the future, as well as the variable rate lime that we're doing just now. So yeah, going forward, hopefully it will influence us. And our fertiliser spreader as well, it's reasonably recently purchased, it's kind of got this as well, so we're starting to use the variable rate on it as well. This spreader will help hopefully future-proof our business in the way that, if environmental restrictions become tighter for spreading nitrogen and such like at certain times and everything, that we know exactly what's going on where, at what time, and hopefully maybe again having to use less bagged nitrogen as such as well. So yeah, hopefully it'll future-proof us. Soil health going forward is a massive thing for us. We maybe took our eye off the ball a little bit with other things going on, that our soil health kind of dropped down a little bit. pHs were down, P&Ks were a wee bit down as well, maybe, shall we say. So having this going forward, we're hoping to try and build them back up again and try and improve our soil health so that we can maximise what's coming out of our ground year on year basically, and make our soil a better health. So the opportunities with this machine hopefully can take in any other materials or compost or anything like that, and having your own spreader, you're maybe more likely to do that if you've got it there to spread it. Getting more of them in to again improve the organic matter content in our ground. Also hopefully pick up some extra contractor work to help pay it back. So yeah, hopefully.